Sorry about that, folks. Back to the action. Like we were talking about before, Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, was a great addition to the Paranormal Activity series. This one, which struck a chord with me because of my heritage, took place in a strong Hispanic family culture. And it did a great job of really exploring, the origins of these possessions, the reason behind them. I had a great time watching the various Hispanic cultural aspects at work throughout the film. Very dark. It was great to explore a new set of characters while still getting closure of a sort on what happened in some of the previous films. Some plot holes filled with that, so it was pretty cool, I think. And I would highly recommend that film. It's creepy, made me jump a couple times. I think this one far surpassed Paranormal Activity 4, which was good, but it wasn't the best in the series, So, highly recommend Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, out now on Blu-ray and DVD. Next, just want to congratulate Batman, the character of Batman, and the comic book series that he has always been a part of, whether it's Justice League or anything DC, really. He is celebrating 75 years of, his 75th anniversary, really. Just incredible to imagine 75 years ago, one of the greatest characters was, written. Right now it's going on, and it's a good time too, with Batman versus Superman, or whatever the film's going to be called, getting ready to shoot in Detroit right now. Ben Affleck set to play Bruce Wayne Batman. Also going to have Wonder Woman and Superman in the film, and who else, who knows who else is going to show up. So, just big shout out to the creators of Batman for giving the world one of the most creative, dark, and emotionally driven characters in comic book history. So, it's quite an accomplishment. Congratulations, DC. Now on to shows, television. Arrow has been doing fantastic in the last few weeks. Tonight is the new episode, where it is called Seeing Red, and this one is going to focus on Roy, who is losing control as that drug Mirakuru courses through his body. He's becoming more and more enraged and nearly unstoppable. So, the series has done a great job of really fleshing out some DC characters. Having Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, be in present day, being a foe, and a very badass foe at that, for Team Arrow has been great to see. And this is all spoiler, so spoiler alert. Laurel finding out that Oliver is the Arrow has been great to see. The slow transition of her realizing that the city did need him, and especially that last scene where, she went to the club after Oliver had suffered, defeat after defeat throughout the episode. And she just went up and hugged him and gave him the comfort that Sarah might not necessarily realize he needed, because the thing about Sarah and Oliver is that they're both survivors. They're both tough, but they don't know how to reach out to people, whereas the Laurel, I think, could be that rock. So, that was really nice to see. A great moment. I think Laurel's character is really starting to come back to true form. Also, Rain doing a great job. Just strong performances from the series star Adelaide Kane. Fantastic. Although I still am curious as to why Scottish and French, characters throughout the show all seem to have English accents, or some even Australian. It's weird. But yeah, the show is good. Very good show. Strong performances. The introduction of Mary's brother, who is a Protestant, whereas she's a Catholic, was a nice plot twist. Seeing the relationship between her and her brother, and then her and her new husband, Francis, was very cool to see too. And the Mad King Henry is just going even more mad as the weeks go by. Very disturbing. And probably Reign is probably one of my new favorite shows on the CW. Also, Game of Thrones has been going strong for a few weeks now. Of course, the big thing that happened since the premiere has been, spoiler alert, the death of King Joffrey. Which, if you'd read the books, you knew that was coming. The Purple Wedding, as it's been called, where in the Red Wedding, so many people were slaughtered and killed brutally. Joffrey was the only one who died at his wedding, choked to death, most likely poisoned, and Tyrion has been framed for it. Sad stuff. Tyrion is in for a pretty rough season. Meanwhile, Jon Snow is getting the Night's Watch ready for a war with the wildlings on both sides of the wall. And Daenerys Stormborn, or Daenerys Targaryen, is making her way with her vast army to one of the last slave cities, Meereen, where she's getting ready to kick some ass. So it's been nice to see Daenerys really step into her own and become this embodiment of a powerful female character. It's great television. The only downside of this past week was the scene between Jaime and Cersei Lannister, which is getting a lot of controversy right now. In the books, this happened almost the same, except for one little change. In the books, Jaime didn't get to King's Landing until after Joffrey's death, whereas in the series, he was there to witness Joffrey's death. And then, to comfort Cersei, they end up making love in front of Joffrey's body at the wake. Not in front of everyone, of course. But yeah, it's a disturbing scene no matter which way you look at it. But in the series, it was implied that the sex ended up becoming more of a rape, which is a tough thing to watch on television, or anywhere really. It's a tough thing to tackle. Not 100% sure if that was the way it's meant to be interpreted. Just because I know the character Cersei in the books, that scene was not just about comfort for both of them after losing their son. It was also a means to manipulate Jaime. Because she's always kind of had him wrapped around her finger. And she's even admitted on the show and in the books that, because she was born a woman and she can't hold lands or anything, she uses her body and her female, charm to move the pawns on the Game of Thrones. She plays the game well. So, not sure where that scene was going in the last episode. if it indeed was, rape, that's extra disturbing. Especially because Jamie was doing so well, as far as redeeming himself. But, it's still disturbing even if it was consensual. It's a dark scene. So that was the only tough part to watch. But the show overall is doing a great job, I think. And finally, Bates Motel. Freddie Highmore, I believe his name is just a fantastic Norman Bates. Very disturbing, creepy. Him and his, really unnaturally close relationship with his mother, played by the beautiful and just incredibly talented Vera Farmiga. Just a wonderful show. Great job. Highly recommend it. The different plot twists, it's just great to see flesh itself out on television. So I'm so glad it got picked up for a third season. And I highly recommend watching it on A&E Monday nights. Check it out. Let's see. Just a quick little review. I'm going to be writing a full review of the book itself. But Honor Quest Magazine was fortunate enough to get a physical book to review for the magazine. Let me pull up my little thing. Sorry, I should have been prepared. Okay, here we go. Alright, so the book is called The Drummer's Widow. It is by Joanna Fitzpatrick. It's a very emotional story, to say the least, about an older woman named Marissa, who has recently been widowed after her husband, Jules, passed away from an unknown illness that I haven't gotten to that part yet. No, actually I did. It's probably pneumonia, something. I think he did have cancer. But then he went into remission and it was get better, and then he just, in the middle of his first show back, passed away. He was a jazz musician. So that story is intermingled with the story of two young people. One, another guitarist, jazz musician kind of guy named Martin, and then a former singer, very popular singer in a female group named Cassandra. Both ending up paying rent for a room in Marissa's loft apartment in Manhattan. And along the course of the way, she ends up helping each of them kind of overcome their struggles, and in turn it helps her deal emotionally with the passing of her husband, whom she still converses with. He's not a ghost. At least not yet. I'm still reading the end right now. But yeah, she has conversations, to kind of, stay close to him in a way. It's a very sad story, but it's also a story of overcoming hurdles and obstacles like that. It's very good to watch. So highly recommend The Drummer's Widow by Joanna Fitzpatrick. We'll have a full review on the website in the next week or so. It's going to be coming out on May 1st, so I highly recommend it. And that is our first official book blurb. We also have another book review coming up on the website for an anthology, a horror metal anthology called Axis of Evil. You can find out the full review on the magazine as well. So that is it, guys. Also, just quick announcement. Honor Quest Magazine, also known as Rock Honor Quest Magazine to some, is going to be covering VidCon this year. Very happy to say VidCon is going to be covered by me. I'm going to be going to the convention, taking pictures, doing taking some video clips. You know, this would be a nice little time, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to see if I can arrange some interviews with our editor outside of the convention, you know, during that weekend or week that it's going down. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm looking forward to you guys checking it out. So there you guys go. Thank you for watching the Weekly Riff. This is Anthony Avino with Honor Quest Magazine. That was Weekly Riff episode 15 or 13. I hope you guys enjoyed it. In the comments below, tell me, are any of you guys going to VidCon this year? And if so, what are you looking forward to the most? Please leave those comments down below. You can check out all our other links down below, including the link for our magazine and my personal YouTube channel as well. And then you can please like this video, comment on it, favorite it, and share it with everyone you can. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. This is Anthony Avino with Honor Quest Magazine, signing off.